Oh, not me being tardy to my own live. That's okay. That is okay. I'm only going to wait a couple of seconds to see who joins in because I don't know how many people will join. But hi, friends, everyone that's here. Welcome in, settle in, sit down, get comfortable. You know, get your tea, your hot tea. It's going to be a quick live, but it will be a good time. Like I said, I'm only going to wait a couple seconds before I get started because, you know, we all got things to do. So, hi, I know most of you guys are in here today, but for everyone else that does not know, my name is Jessica Thomas. I am an Atlanta-based filmmaker and videographer. Currently, I work for one of the largest global architecture firms as their in-house videographer, taking all their content, short story form, and all that good stuff. But today, I am coming to you as a newly married woman. Celebrating my 28th year. A lot of life updates and changes have happened, but I wanted to hop on live really quickly to share more about where I've been at, what I've been up to, and lastly, to talk to you about my feature film that I am creating. So first, let's get into, these life updates, because most people have seen that I tried to inconspicuously change my last name online. So now I'm no longer Jessica Thomas. I'm Jessica Emotep. I was able to marry my best friend less than 3 weeks ago, Rush Emotep, amazing financial advisor who works at Northwestern Mutual. So if anyone ever needs financial advice, help managing their money, trying to get the bag, all of the good stuff, maybe you have a company that is looking to expand their financial literacy. So he's available for all those things, and he's just a wonderful guy all around. We were able to get married in my hometown of Seattle, so that was super exciting. It was surprisingly a really nice day, overview of the sunset, about 80 degrees outside, and had all of our closest tight-knit family and friends there to celebrate with us, and then got to celebrate our nuptials at my godparents' house afterwards, so that was super exciting. And also, like a week after that, I turned 28, so it was a lot of changes happening in July. So now I'm getting into my enlightened era, I guess is what they call it, where, the light clicks on in your mind, and you're like, oh, I was kind of slow and dumb and making a lot of irrational decisions when I was younger. And so that light's starting to come on as I get closer to 30, so I'm excited about that. What else is going on? That's really basically been it, I'm on my 2 years of my lock journey, so, they're getting full, luscious, looking good. They're coming into their own. And I started working out with a personal trainer. So if anyone is looking to get their body right, I have the best personal trainer in Atlanta. Her name is Dr. Glory. She's one of my followers. I follow her. So if you guys are looking for someone that will change your life, get on your ass every day at 6 o'clock in the morning. She is it. She also does virtual and in person. So she's the greatest. That's all what's going on with me. Like, if you guys want to drop in your life updates and what's been going on with you, I'd love to catch up with all of you guys. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of why I wanted to start doing this live today. And that's because I wanted to talk more about the process of making my first feature film, which is called the Prologue. Take a little breather. So the Prologue is my first indie feature film that I am writing and directing and doing all of the things on. It's very exciting. It is a blaxploitation horror film that also blends in folk horror, which is like a very niche indie 70s style of filmmaking that, includes rural landscapes, it includes small towns, it takes urban legends and folklores and kind of turns it on its head. And that's what we've done with a Zora Neale Hurston short story called Uncle Monday, which was our source material. So for those of you that don't know who Zora Neale Hurston is, she is probably one of the dopest, most renowned 20th century Black female authors of all time. She was a part of the Harlem Renaissance. She wrote a lot of great, amazing books that should be on your bookshelf, like Moses Man of Mountain. Their Eyes Were Watching God is probably one of her biggest films that was later produced into a TV film with Oprah's network, and a lot of other great stories. And it was probably about 6 years ago, my senior year in college, when I actually got really sick. I didn't know what was going on. I had a lot of gut issues, a lot of dizzy spells, like I was passing out, fainting. It was a lot of stuff going on in my senior year of college. I think it was kind of a combination of probably too much drinking out at the, clubs when you turn 21, and too much stress going into that senior year. But after I had gotten my degree and went home, my sister actually gifted me a book by Zora Neale Hurston. And it wasn't one of her most famous works. It was really like a low-key book that was a compilation of short stories that she had written over her lifetime. So she was born in the early 1900s. Her exact birthday is kind of unknown because Zora was known for lying about her age. Check it out. She was always lying to get into school early and go into college and all this stuff. But and then she died, I believe, like in the late 1960s, early 1970s. So this book was called The Complete Stories, and it was a compilation book of all of these amazing short stories. And about 100 pages in, I found this story called Uncle Monday that literally changed how I viewed Zora, how I viewed the American South. It changed a lot of preconceived notions that I had about who Zora was as an author, kind of what her main genre was, her style of writing, all these things. And the reason that was because it was actually one of her only horror stories that she ever wrote. So it's a really interesting story based off of an urban legend of a magical Negro called Uncle Monday. So Uncle Monday is a really cool urban legend folklore story. The background behind him is that he was actually of African descent. During the transatlantic slave trade, he was captured and brought over on one of the boats. And so during that time, he was actually able to escape bondage. He jumped overboard and swam to the nearest shore. And when he got there, it happened to be this all-black town in Florida near Lake Maitland. And for a little bit of context on Zora and her relation to this area, Eatonville is the birth city of Zora Neale Hurston, which is the first Black incorporated town in America. So and they're right on the coast of Florida as well. And going back to the story of Uncle Monday, when he arrived on land, he was actually welcomed by the Native Americans that were on the land, which were Seminoles, indigenous people, etc. And there was one day, as the legend goes, that they were doing this ceremony in this bonfire at night where Uncle Monday had transformed and shapeshifted into an alligator. And then he vowed to become the town protector so that no other people would get trapped into bondage. So the legend of Uncle Monday itself is crazy, and where Zora's story about him comes into place is after he arrives mysteriously into this town, in this town in Maitland, where he is kind of known as a conjurer, a healer. He has magical powers. He can shapeshift. He can move. He can do all these things that average humans cannot and should not be able to do. So very quickly, the town people fear him. They respect him out of that fear. They seek him out to heal them. And they also seek him out to put curses and other spells and root work and goofers on other people. So very quickly, Uncle Monday becomes this figure of immense power, immense mystery. He lives out in the swamps. He can control and tame alligators. He has all of these things that just makes him very different. And Zora's story about Uncle Monday was just so intriguing. It was more of small vignettes of all these different people that were going to Uncle Monday for certain problems. So you had a mother going to him about a man that didn't want to marry her daughter. You had his relationship with a woman in the town that did similar work as him. And then you also just had all these small other nuances of people interacting with Uncle Monday that showcased his power. Someone seeing him walk on water, someone seeing him shapeshift in the distance. It was very spooky, very eerie. It had all of this flavor, all this texture into it. And when I read that story, I immediately was I see this as a full film in my head. And from there, fast forward 6 years later, I was always tinkering on this project. So I would write a little bit here, write Uncle Monday's story, write a little bit here. I would do a lot of research. I was able to travel a lot around the American South. So going to places in Florida, going to, North Carolina, go to Tennessee, Kentucky, visiting all these places, going to more middle Georgia and rural Georgia, and seeing the different landscapes, seeing the different art, seeing the different cultures, and seeing how honestly Black people have been portrayed throughout history in these spaces, and it's very underserved. And I think specifically when it comes to the horror genre, there is a lack of Black stories that are there, that are human, that are also not related to slavery. So this was just an opportunity to kind of blend all of these new ideas, these old stories, into a newer genre of film to like reinvigorate and kind of change people's perception of how Black people in the South have been, were, and who they can be. And so for the prologue, it's a really interesting project. I used about 2 pages from Zora's original story and adapted that into a 85-minute feature film called The Prologue. What I plan to do with the other pages of the film is to actually create a film trilogy series, right? So you have this first film called The Prologue. Obviously, this is the beginning. This is how we get into this town. This is how we see these characters. This is how we move and understand the world that we're in, and especially understand Uncle Monday's power and his control. And then for those second films, we kind of transition and shift more into Uncle Monday's story. And we shift more into like his understanding, his power, where he got that all from. And then we shift into a little bit outside of the town and kind of like the outside forces that are impeding on them. So it's all like laid out and everything. But this first film, The Prologue, is my baby at the moment. And so it follows a greedy man as he is framed into parenthood by a vindictive ex, as he stalks the swamps for redemption and salvation from an untamed conjure doctor. So we got a lot of inspiration from films like Eve's Bayou, Daughters of the Dusk, Do the Right Thing, Get Out, Swamp Thing, like all these small ideas have culminated into a larger project that I'm really excited to see unfold. And where we're at right now is we are actually relaunching our crowdfunding campaign, which is super exciting. So on Friday, we will have a new website updated. We will have our Seed and Spark up and available. And that is just a donation platform where we're able to collect donations from people that support us and want to be part of our creation journey. So that's super exciting. We have a great team that's planning a ton of things. Like we have a new content schedule, social media. You'll be seeing me online a lot more than I have been. And we are also planning a lot more in-person events so that we can engage with other people that are related, not related, but more reflective of the audience that we think would actually like to see this film. So we're doing a lot of things with like Black spaces, Black community groups, bookshops, a lot of arts and culture events to kind of put our name out there, sight and see. So be on the lookout for any of those invites, any of those flyers. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff from now until the end of the year to kind of make it fun to, help people understand what the tradition of hoodoo is as it relates to African American culture, to build community, to meet new people, and just to have friends and to do fun stuff, because making a movie should be fun. Even though it's a lot of work, it should always be fun. So that's really what we've been up to. So what you can expect from me is you can expect to see me a lot more. You can expect to see me a lot more, hear from me a lot more, and for me to bug you personally. So I will be going through every single person on all of my followers, every contact that I have, and I will personally be reaching out to you to try to bring you along this journey. I'll invite you to our newsletter. I'll invite you to create alongside me. I will invite you to collaborate, to partner in some way. And most importantly, I will invite you to contribute and donate to get us there, because it doesn't take just one really good idea to make a movie. It takes a lot of great ideas, a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of support and a lot of people coming together, and the timing for all to get done. So I'm super excited for that. Like I said, our crowdfunding campaign will be going live very shortly, in less than 2 days. You'll be hearing from me and my team. You'll see us out and about. What else am I missing? What else? But yeah, so as far as that's really all I got for you guys as far as update today goes. Next week I will be interviewing someone live, so that will be posted. The flyer for that will be up probably on Monday to tell you who I'm thinking of for our interview guests. There's a ton. I'm thinking for the first one there that it may be an author, because there are a lot of different legends around Uncle Monday. His powers, what he can do, where he's been, and all these things. And there's been a lot of great stories written from other authors outside of Zora. And so I think for the first live interview guest, I'll probably be doing an author if I can get in contact with them in time. But that's really it that I got for you guys. Tap in, follow me. We have a lot of social media platforms that you can follow us on for updates. We have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And now we have a Substack where I will be blogging about the nuances and challenges of actually making a feature film while I'm making it and creating it, figuring out the lessons that I have to learn the hard way, what I liked that week, what I didn't like that week, so that maybe if you're trying to emulate or do something similar, you don't have to work as hard or do as much as we had to do this first time around. But like I said, I'm Jessica Emotep is how you pronounce my last name. I'm Jessica Emotep, writer and director of the Prologue, and I'm excited to bring you along this creation journey and to see what we can stir up together. So I will see you guys later. Enjoy your Wednesday, drink some wine, eat some cake, and then also eat some protein as well in your macros. But other than that, take your vitamins, drink your water, and I'll see you later.